Well, by now, I'm sure most of you have actually seen these tiny house communities and their reason for being in existence. But where did they come from? And how was the idea created? Well, I'm delighted to be joined today by Amy King, the co-founder of Pallet, the people that came up with these remarkable structures.
My husband, as a general contractor, and actually is also a trained firefighter, he came up with the concept for Pallet initially in response to disasters, which is another market that we seek to serve as well. So the thought was, after Hurricane Katrina, if we could create a panelized, easy-to-construct house that was, lightweight and affordable and cost-effective and all these things, then we could provide shelter and housing to people affordably and quickly. And then as we started building housing and the homeless crisis grew and grew, and we saw more and more people coming out onto the streets in cities across America, we said, we have this idea for this thing, and maybe this could be useful for homelessness. And so we took it to our staff, most of which have had experience with homelessness, and we said, what about this? Would this be useful? And they almost unanimously said, you guys have to do this. We want to help you. We want to build it.
There's been so much effort towards the unhoused problem across this country and beyond. But you still need to convince governmental agencies and or nonprofit organizations that this is viable and this is supportable and this is something they should do. So where was the test case?
Our initial customer was the city of Tacoma, which is a local city just south of Seattle. We actually met them at a disaster response show. So once we had our first iteration in place and we made our first unit rolled off the line, we started taking it to trade shows, mostly for disaster response. And so our very first community is actually for people experiencing homelessness, but under the umbrella of a disaster.
These do have, for lack of a better word, a shelf life in terms of their usefulness towards someone.
That's right. I mean, they're meant to last a long time and be very durable, and they have other uses. And so we often encourage cities to try things like put them up for a while, and if you don't need them anymore, you can break them down. They're panelized, you can store them, and then you can take them out if you have a wildfire or a disaster event and use them for survivors or responders. So they have a lot of versatility in that way. But when we're talking about homelessness, the intent here is not for someone to live here forever. That's not why we created this, and this is not a way that someone should live forever. We don't think that. We never have thought that. This is not a substitute for permanent housing. So we produce about 50 shelters a week. We're ramping up to 100 a week. There are over 500,000 people in America sleeping outside. It would take me forever to shelter them all. So the more people that we can get in this space, the better, as far as I'm concerned.